I bought my wife a life extension plan. These were the first month. Overcast, mild temperature. An owl turns its head to stare through our window as we awaken. It was 8:58 a.m. on a Tuesday, and once again, it was the sounds of violent seizing on the floor by my bed that awoke me. Stumbling in a stupor to cradle my wife's head and soothe her as eyes rolled into the back of the head, joints locked and pulled while her mouth foamed, was tough. Finding the opening in her mouth to administer her rescue medication, midazolam, watching the paste coat her gums and hoping that it will settle her while assuring her I loved her and didn't want to hurt her, was always harder. Then came the grunts, the dismal groaning, as her back arched and her shoulders rolled before her breathing grew slower, labored, and she entered a state not dissimilar to dreaming, but without waking up. Blue flashing lights, paramedics gently moving me aside to administer oxygen and prep her for moving to the ambulance. The long drive to the hospital, the slow but steady come around with confusion, and the doctors with well-meaning smiles and pats on the shoulder, assuring me in a calm, collected, and still distant tone, "You're doing the best you can, given the circumstances." Somewhere in that hospital ward, I would always see a flicker of something in the darker parts of the halls. Shadows clinging to the last vestiges of darkness that the powerful fluorescent lights could not reach. Never enough to warrant panic, but plenty to invite dread into my body and let it nestle there while I smiled, thanked the doctor, and packed up my wife's things, knowing I'd be back again before long, knowing it'd only get worse from here. Amelia is sick. That much is obvious to you all by this point. We'd been having a spirited nerf war in our newly purchased home as a newly hitched couple, fully within the throes of love and a honeymoon phase of our relationship that had lasted 7.5 blissful years so far. She lost her footing, stumbled and slurred something before smashing her skull on the coffee table and seizing on the floor. For as long as I live, I will not forget the image of her face frozen in total neutrality as her brain bled, nor the sound her skull made as it collided with the mahogany. Doctors would conclude it was a stroke, but the genuine horror lay in their subsequent tests. The stern faces, the high-quality scans showcasing a highlighted mass gripping into the soft flesh of her brain. Amelia has glioblastoma. Aggressive glioblastoma. It grows silent, muted in the office as we listen to the doctor run through options of treatment and palliative care. She talks about various kinds of radiotherapy, surgeries with enormous risks, and pills to manage the suffering. I can read her lips, but the tone escapes me. A hum has crept into the room, and a darkness fills the corner of my vision, like someone is pouring oil into my eye sockets. I feel something put stiff hands on my shoulders, and my skin bristles. Before I can react, Amelia's hand is in mine as she speaks. "No, I won't be needing treatment. We'll do this our own way, thank you." She stands up, gently nods in the doctor's direction, and heads for the door. I see the doctor's glasses fog over, and she grabs my wrist suddenly as I leave, her bottom lip trembling as she extends a small card. "Look, if she doesn't want our treatment, fine, but you can still do something for her. See this woman? She's from our extensions branch. Maybe she can help." I don't have the ability to respond. I merely nod, place the card in my pocket, and take her soft hand as we exit the office, my eyes fixated on her hair tied into blonde and pink space buns as she walks with purpose in her step, humming to herself. It's funny what you focus on when the world falls around you, but it doesn't grant you respite from the uncomfortable truth laid bare before you. Amelia has mere months to live. My wonderful, kind, one-of-a-kind wife has months to live.